I feel like you see a lot more Widowmaker gameplay, really. But in this day and age of goats and Brigitas, who knows what we're going to be finding. So yeah, it's an interesting one.
I think there's been a lot of changes to the metagame since the kind of tweaks that Sombra has had in particular, because you're able to scout so much more. So you can tell where Widowmakers are and what sightlines they're going to be covering, so you can either work around them or jump on them, dive on them. In addition, just the ability to run these triple tank, triple support compositions is maybe putting people off, because it can be a very snowbally map if you're pardoned the obvious terrible pun.
I didn't even see it. I'm not gonna lie. You could have just not mentioned it. People will have chewed you out on Twitter.
I didn't want people to think it was actually a joke, because that would have been truly terrible.
All right, well, we'll see. Yeah, you're better than that. I'm not gonna lie. You're better than that. Sweden going to be rolling out the gates. Again, triple tank, triple support, the 3-3 composition. See what they can get done. Right now, Spain are playing all on the high ground, which is actually an inherent weakness of this composition that Sweden are playing. They've got no way to really contest them off their high perch, but now they're going to be pressuring them onto the point, which does force Spain down onto the low ground, just to contest a lot of this capture point. We'll see what they can get done here. Bobby Fresh desperately searching for a pick or two. Meanwhile, Johnny's just trying to shield the rest of his team as it stands. Already one tick now for Sweden. Nice charge from it. Johnny doesn't quite hit the mark, but he's going to see if he can search for a couple more. And I mean, Spain, they're not really taking the initiative here. There's a lot of poking, a lot of prodding, a lot of letting Sweden get away with a lot here. And I feel like they're just trying to build up ultimates in this next team fight. Chips has the coalescence. Now he's starting to use it. This is where the dangerous position starts here for Spain, I should say. And they're going to have to use some ultimates of their own. You see the nano boost being used, forcing out a couple of the ultimates from the rest of the team. Networks trying to build up that primal rage, moving in, and now it's starting to go Spain's direction. Bobby Fresh getting that pick onto Vic. That's a good start for them. Spain's going to be using the Samba as well. They're really desperately trying to win this team fight. Earth Shadow also going to be used on top there by Reinforce, but no value being gotten out of it, and it looks like Spain should be winning this one, Josh.
Shark threw a Graviton onto the high ground where nobody could follow up with it. Caught both supports, or rather 2 of the 3 supports, Harry Hook and Line Pro, but only managed to find the kill onto one of them. Harry Hook, who will now be coming back, but Spain are missing a lot of heals up until he returns. So it's possible that Sweden could engage fairly quickly here with the sound barrier on the rally.
Hook, honestly, as well, if they're fast enough. I think that's what they're going for. They're speed boosting right now, trying to catch out Harry Hook. Networks recognizes this. Very smart play by him. He uses the primal rage to battle them away. Big fan of that. That's highly intelligent, 900 IQ stuff right there.
Some wrinkle brain stuff.
Definitely got a lot of wrinkles on his noggin, I'm not going to lie, but we'll see what else they can do as Bobby Fresh moves in. Has to recall away. He's still got this pulse bomb as well. Now we're going to see Sweden using that sound barrier. Going to now high HP, but looks like going to get taken down as Tvik notices where Bobby Fresh is, gets the shield bash onto him, takes him out of the fight. Sweden should be in a good position to take this fight now, presuming nothing goes disastrously wrong. Chips is also going to be using that coalescence as well, just to layer it on top. A lot of cut time, bit of a questionable Graviton surge if I do say so myself, but it does pull them together and it allows Sweden to get the cap.
Yep, takes them away from the capture zone, the contest zone, and Sweden able to...
I feel like they could have gotten away with not using it though.
It's very possible that they could have. I was wondering...
like Johnny sleeping.
I was wondering whether or not Sharp would try and save that. It is a very snowbally just composition in general though. Look, they've already got onto the point.
Straight onto the point,
and once you've got the positioning advantage, it's very difficult to displace the triple tank.
And Johnny Reinforced. Larson has the shatter. He connects onto 2, the charge as well. He brings down Line Pro, the rest of his team moving in. A swing and definitely not a miss as he takes out Harry Hook. And Sweden are battering their way forward now. Already multiple kills. The kill feed filled with blue. Valfad indeed. Another charge across the map. Big and counting, and is looking very, very good right now for Sweden. The self-destruct on top just to keep them away. They are going to get contested in the tail end. Line Pro switching to the Bastion as well. Just trying to pressure them, but nobody was able to get on the point. And that is it. The danger, right? The snowball potential of Volskaya Industries. We saw it there.
Absolutely, and it's not even really related to the ultimates. It's related to how quickly you can get there with the Lucio and how dominant you are once you actually have position on the point. All of the danger zone, if you're running triple tank, triple support, is getting to that point. Once the enemy team is forced to come and contest you, otherwise they end up losing ticks, you can easily kill them. So Sweden definitely with a plan, and that plan was run this composition until it fails. Goats ahoy.
Goats ahoy, mate. Goats ahoy. I mean,
do goats in Sweden get welfare? I don't think they do.
Are there even goats in Sweden? There must be.
There must be a goat in Sweden, Brett.
Maybe at a zoo. I don't know. Have you ever been to a Swedish zoo?
You ever seen a goat in a zoo?
Yeah, sometimes. If you go to the smaller zoos, they can't afford bigger animals.
Brent, that's a farm.
You could consider them zoos. Aren't zoos just big farms? Ooh, I'm blowing your mind here, mate. I'm spilling all sorts of knowledge.
I don't think so. I've never seen them serve up elephant steak.
I mean, I've been to a couple of like kind of zoo farms, and they got like ostriches and a bull, and you buy like cheese and strawberries.
Wasn't that your family stuff?
All right, enough out of you. Listen, we're gonna keep it PG-13, lad.
Ah, absolutely. And Sweden making one crucial adjustment to this composition that they were running previously, and that is Sharp pulling out the Sombra.
Okay.
So allows them to scout much more.
Whoa, that is controversial. Never seen that before.
Gonna let them get some cleaner engages.
Yeah.
Luddy will know exactly where they're coming from, and will speed boost into them, and they'll be trying to catch them unawares around here. But all comes down to the information that Sharp can provide. Yeah,
this is the good thing about running this Sombra in this day and age. You've got the invisibility. It's permanent now. You can scout out this information, scout out the comp for Spain and what they're running in Sweden. They are, again, holding aggressively close. They're just going to be waiting for opportunities.
That's a high one.
That's a high one. Where's that going to be landing? Ooh, and it hit nobody. Okay. All right, better luck next time, pal.
Points for trying.
Points for trying, but it's actually the only reason that failed was because Spain were completely changing up their composition. They were ready and waiting, and now they're going to be switching to a 3-3 composition of their own. But here's the aggression. Networks, though, he charges Chips, takes him out of the fight. They're going to be moving in. That's a significant amount of healing that's now missing from Sweden, and this has backfired significantly. Spain are just going to ravage their way onto the point, and they should be taking this with ease.
Why was Chips Iron chilling in the doorway?
I don't know.
Waiting to get pinned by Networks.
I can't ask you the question.
I think they got caught unawares because they didn't realize that Spain were just hiding in spawn, waiting to see what composition Sweden were running.
Have you ever considered that Chips might be a high-level AI?
I absolutely have not.
Are you scared about AI?
I've met him in person.
You should be scared about AI.
He's a lovely guy. A little quiet, lovely guy. Very skilled on the
Sure,
piano.
yeah. All the characteristics of an AI, might I remind you.
Not true.
Elon Musk is worried about AI. Why aren't you worried? But regardless of that, Spain are moving forward. They got ultimates to use, and they want to use them. They go straight into the point, snowballing them forward. The rally's going to be used. Line Pro, that's a lot of aggression, Sunshine. He's going to see what he can do. Johnny has to get value out of this. The EMP! Oh my goodness! He connects on the 4, but do they have the damage? I don't think so. It's going to be coming up all Spain right now. Harriet using the coalescence. Networks uses his own air shadow, only connects it onto the 1. Sweden desperately trying to see if they can contest this one out. Rainbow's going to be the recipient of the Nanoboost as well, just about wearing off. And now we're going to see the Graviton Surge, which should be able to win Sweden out this team fight. Only a couple players remaining. And that was looking shaky for a moment now. I thought it started out so good.
It certainly did, but at the beginning of that fight, it was Line Pro came in on the Brigitte and stunned Reinforce, waiting for Networks to hit him with the Earth Shatter. Networks was at 99%.
Oh boy.
I think he called the added Earth Shatter and it wasn't there, and Networks couldn't do a thing.
You hate to see it, mate.
And
you
then
hate to see it.
With that Brigitte shield bash on cooldown, it was all down to Reinforce, and he hit a money Earth Shatter that won the positioning battle for them. So now,
he's got another one. He's got another one. The stun comes out. Oh. Johnny's on an absolute roll. He knocks them all flying. Unfortunately, there's no full-on, but now the Graviton from Spain. They turn it around. Sound barrier on top. They got all the healing in the world. Currently, though, not getting the picks. Sharp does fall, though. So Sweden still desperately trying to hold on to this point. But it's looking like Spain are really running this one all the way to the bank once again. No capture point for the time being. But a nice swing from Networks means that South Africa is not going to be getting any value from them. Sharp, though, close on as Harry Hook meets his maker against the walls of the internal corners. But there we have it. Spain are just holding this so close and so aggressively now. The pin comes out from them. It seems like Spain might be doing this, Josh.
It absolutely does. Only a few players left on the point. Twig, he dies with 98% of his Graviton available. They're just trying to stagger it out here. See if they can wait until Twig's alive and has that ult available. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
6 on the point right now. Ludi's desperately trying to see if he can contest this as long as humanly possible. But there's only so much one Lucio player can do. They're trying to focus him down. Now he sees the Vic. He comes back on the wrecking ball. But that only forces out the Graviton Surge of Spain. And Maniton is getting beaten and battered all over the place. 6 on the point. Johnny's going to get focused down. The Earth Shatter gets nilched. and it will mean that Spain carve out the second checkpoint.
Vic switched away from the Zarya that had the Graviton in order to delay the point. I think Sweden clearly realized there that that was not a fight that they were going to be able to turn, and it was just about delaying time off the clock. And I don't know whether you can really call that a win for them, but they do have an 11-second advantage in the time bank. So it's very even right now between these two teams. And the name of the game is triple tank, triple support, Brent.
Feels that way, mate. Now I know how the EU contenders casters felt. You know, they've been having to cast this for quite some time.
That's actually an interesting point, though, because a lot of these players have come from Europe. That might sound stupid when we're casting Spain v Sweden. But,
are you sure?
But that's,
are you sure about that one?
I mean, from European contenders.
Sure,
from European contenders. Because although there are a lot of OWL players in Team Sweden, you've got Sharp over there, and you've also got Ludi. And Ludi has played a huge amount of this triple tank, triple support, playing over in European contenders. And the Spanish guys are very familiar with it themselves. So that has been, I wouldn't say the only meta game or the only composition that worked well, but certainly one that a lot of European teams have been playing for a long time. So should be familiar with it, can teach these OWL players a thing or two about how to swing your hammer, your flail and stuff.
Watch yourself.
Very complex.
Very complicated maneuver. Holding mouse 1 or the right trigger if you're a console user. We don't discriminate here at the Overwatch World Cup. You know, we accept all manners of players, but Poppy Fresh is going to be scouting a little bit, moving forward on the Tracer, seeing what he can get done. Going to be moving to the high ground, actually. Oh, he's a little bit cautious. He doesn't want to show himself just yet. Oh, he's spotted. Oh, he spotted the translocator. He might be trying to bait Sharp into using it, but I mean, it was a cutesy idea, but they're just losing players all over the place. Network's going down. Your main tank's out of the picture. Still, Spain looking to see if they can take positioning up into that right-hand room. And they're just kind of milling about for the time being.
Yeah, this is going to be a difficult one. Spain have already committed through the major choke point. I think they want to stay there for now. But as Networks tries to recontest, they're taking a chunk of damage from Sharp, who has all the mobility he needs. Now Networks back
almost has a blade as well. He's just been farming it up on them because they haven't been really contesting him off this high ground. They've been taking a lot of damage just through poke and this choke point. And Vic, all he's got to do is wait for that shield bash to come off cooldown, and here comes the blade straight away into the back. It's a nano blade, but it might just be wasted. Instant transcendence by Harry Hook. 1slash will bring down Bobby Fresh. Looks for a few more. The rest of his team are doing the damage, but Spain are turning this one evenly. If they have a Harry Hook and Networks, they get the D-Mech, and Sweden have to reset. They're going backwards. Spain going to be capping this point.
A little too telegraphed there from Sweden. Harry Hook knew exactly what was going on, and Spain had already preemptively called, you know, when this nano blade comes in, we're going to use our Transcendence and we're going to push across the point. And the only players that Vic can go for are the ones with around 200 HP that he can slash and dash through to be able to get a kill before the Transcendence can heal them up. That's not going to work when Spain are already pushing.
Oh my goodness, Poppy Fresh almost mega beat there, mate. He almost fell off the map. Oh, jeez Louise. That was scary. He realized it as well. He could feel the observer camera watching him. Oh my goodness. Well, we'll see what Sweden can do on the defensive side. Spain going to be leading it in now. Post bomb with the Discord Orb on reinforce. That takes him out. That's enough damage. Network's using his primal rage as well. Chips is gone. They start playing people onto this point. They're going to be able to take this. They've already got 4 in the works. And oh my goodness. Romas almost in the South Destruct as well. 1 tick available now for Spain. Can Sweden even try and recontest this one? They're going to be moving on to the point now. Reinforce just uses his primal raise to try and contest this one out. Now Manitou moves over to the Wrecking Ball as well. They've got a decent amount of store, but they're still not getting the picks. Nobody on the side of Spain has died here. Posmon comes out, no connection. Manitou just trying to stall it out by whipping his wee little ball around the map. Now Vic's using the blade, but stunned him, brought down, he's backed off. Nobody's really contesting this one. They need to start to focus down these players, but it looks like Spain might have an opportunity to take this one to sail. Yet, 1 minute 45 seconds, only a single player on the point. As long as they contest this one, Josh, I feel like it's going to be going their way.
And Vic wasn't able to do anything there with that nano blade. Spain continued to roll through. Sweden were not ready in the slightest, and Spain get another excellent round, completing both points. Not impressed, honestly, with how Sweden defended that point. Yes, Reinforce got stuck and went down, and that's a little unfortunate. You know, didn't quite realize that Poppy Fresh was there, but it was a nice stick. That's all fine.
But Chip Cyan had also died without anyone really realizing that there was somebody on him. And then the positioning from the rest of Sweden was massively spread out, and they just got picked off one by one. You can't allow that to be happening.
Yeah.
These guys are our level players. They should know how to back each other up, and they should know where they need to be positioned and how to help each other. Spain made that one look far too easy. Yes, Sweden have a lot of time on the clock. 4 minutes and 30 seconds to be able to do it, and they certainly could with their triple tank, triple support compositions. But Spain are in a great position to win this map now.
All right. How about I turn that frown upside down, Mr. Negative? What can you tell me about the positives of Spain here?
The positives of Spain, it was a really good engage from Poppy Fresh, actually, and they're still being able to get a lot of value out of that Tracer pick, even when they're playing into a Brigitte. I think, although it wasn't on that final point, but the first initial engagement was pretty solid. And on the other side, Vic isn't having the same success. I keep going back to the negatives, Brent.
You do. You got to change that mindset, mate.
I'll turn my frown upside down in the next map, but for now, I'm just.
You're just negative all the time.
I'm just waiting to see what Sweden will do with this triple tank, triple support, because they rolled through last time, really well executed.
We'll see what they can do again. As you can see, they are maneuvering their way up onto the high ground once again, just taking control of it, seeing if they can force any of the positioning away from Spain. But Spain, they seem adamant. They're not really going to be moving anywhere. Just holding on top of the hut, holding up on top of the far side. Poppy Fresh is there to just try and contest the point. See Manitou moving up to the high ground as well, seeing if he can knock any players off with his thrusters. Doesn't get value out of it, but still, they are finding the kill. Sweden, they get one onto Poppy Fresh, and that's the danger of it, right? You're running Tracer into the Brigitte. It's bound to happen eventually. A lot of cap time already for Sweden. Spain, they have to try and recontest this one. They have to get a couple of bodies onto the point. It's going to be too little too late. And Promas ends up getting demeked as well. This is beautiful for Sweden so far.
It certainly is. They're building up to their ultimates as well, but it's just...
2 ticks.
Spain can't contest this. If they're going to, they have to. They have to just throw their bodies on the point. But they've only got a couple of players alive. Sweden have already taken the right engagement.
And here's the danger, right?
Much cleaner than last time as well, actually.
Much cleaner, but the danger now for Spain is the fact that Sharp is sitting on this Graviton Surge almost. Vic ends up using the rally prematurely, and they're already on the point. They've already got a tick, man. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. The Graviton Surge is going to be used early here. They need to try and bring down networks. Just trying to get maximum value out of it. Now we see the Transcendence by Harry Hook. Just trying to keep the rest of his team alive, but it might not be enough as we see Chips using that Coalescence, doing a lot of damage, keeping his team away. And a boost on Poppy Fresh as well, who's actually switched over to a projectile hero for what seems like the first time in quite some time. Stunned down onto the ground there by Johnny, but Reinforce going to have that Soundfire laid on top. Nobody's on the point. 98.8%. Earth Shuttle laid down by Johnny as well. Chance comes out. He's got the kill. And that is that. I mean, this is just Snowball City, apparently.
Yeah, that's brutality coming out from Sweden. Very well executed. They know exactly where they want to be. And Spain did not have an answer. I was almost expecting Spain to go over to something like a Junkrat perhaps, maybe a composition of their own that's got triple tank but with a Reaper to be able to deal with some of that early aggression.
Yeah.
Maybe a Sombra to be able to deal with things. There are answers that you can try, but I think now we're getting a bit of a flavor of why teams have opted away from Volskaya, is that the triple tank, triple support compositions, if you're not comfortable with it yourself, and the enemy team is, they are insanely powerful. The snowball potential is ridiculous onto point B.
Well, so far we're getting a little bit of a teaser from Sweden's composition, and we're seeing Ludi actually running the Mercy for a short while. Sharp also on the Widowmaker as well. Thoughts on this one? I mean, this is what we generally saw out of Volskaya Industries when we were watching it in the Overwatch League, but obviously times change.
That's true.
Patches hit.
Well, I think they're looking at Spain and what they ran in the previous round, and they realized that they had opted away from the triple tank, triple support. But even if they do run it, they should be able to play on the high ground and get Sharp in such a position where he can start attacking the squishies, the people with only about 200 HP, the supports, for example. So I was surprised that Spain didn't try and run a Widowmaker of their own on Poppy Fresh on the defense. I think it can be very strong.
Oh, Manitou was just getting a bit of early intel there on the roof of that house, and Sharp, that's a damage boosted body shot kill straight onto Poppy Fresh. Damage done. See you later, Sunshine. Back to the spawn with you. And Spain might be opting to change things up. No, they're just waiting around the corner, so they're going to stick with this composition. Just going to wait for Poppy Fresh to come back. And he has respawned. He's back with the rest of his team, so I'm interested to see what kind of engage they go for here.
It's still going to be a bit of a difficult one. To be able to escort Dak, Harry Hook, and Poppy Fresh in without any of them dying to Sharp might be a bit difficult.
Oh, grapple hook was used onto the high ground, but still Spain are just taking it easy, taking it slow. A reminder, they've only got 50 seconds left to really get any damage done and try and capture these points up. So the pressure is on for them right now. Poppy Fresh is losing this 1v1. He is getting absolutely obliterated. Vic whacks him in the back of the cranium. Good day, sir. See you later, Poppy Fresh. And with that, Spain, again, another reset. They're really taking their sweet time with this, much to my dismay.
Oh, Networks moving in behind as well. Very telegraphed where they're going to be coming from. So this engagement should be predicted. The positioning adjusted from Sweden. Sharp's got a really nice sight line, and Vic is harassing Poppy Fresh the entire time.
He's really winning out a lot of these 1v1s. They know no recall is onto Vic. He doesn't have that on cooldown. But he backs off to the rest of his team and is going to be peeled up. We'll see what else he can do here. Pulse bomb in hand. He's going to be going for it. Infrasighting a lot of information. Pulse bomb comes down. No kill. Speed boost to disengage this one, but Spain now looking to try and finally get onto the point. They have to. It's overtime. It's go time. It's ticking down. Poppy Fresh just about resets the meter. We'll see what else they can do. They're just playing this very patiently around the corner. Nothing to contest Sharp on the high ground. And that gives Sweden free reign to just move straight into them. You see Sharp taking all the shots he wants in the world. One headshot is going to be insta-killing these players through the Transcendence, so that might not even help them. And there you go. Damage boost, Discord Orb, headshot straight onto Dak. He's finding these picks right now. Sweden in a very solid position here, Sideshow, to take this point away from Spain.
Absolutely. All positioning based. You can see there, Sharp, it wasn't like he was going crazy. That wasn't some unbelievable performance from Sharp. He was missing a lot of his shots, but they've got no one to contest it, and he's just getting free damage, free potential for picks into them. Spain have to play a little scared, and then they're going to get picked off. So I think that was well coordinated from Sweden. They knew exactly how to play around a potential offense with little time left on the clock. We'll see if Spain make any similar adjustments.
This is the kind of knowledge that I was expecting, really, from Sweden, I think, as well. Given the fact that they've got so many experienced players, being able to read that and what Spain are going to be running, the sort of composition-wise, what their mistakes were in the previous round, this is what you come to expect from a team like this. So it's nice that they're stepping up, but you know, a little bit too late in, I think, the tournament for my liking, realistically, after they've lost these matches. But
too late in the series.
Too late in the series. Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, they can still.
Oh, sorry. Yes, of course. No, I thought you were talking about Spain there for a moment.
No, I was talking about Sweden. But it's nice that they are turning around now. I mean, this is where, if they are going to be making a comeback, you know, trying to qualify for BlizzCon, this is where it begins, obviously. So it's nice that they are turning around now. Still, Spain are going to be opting for similar strategy to what Sweden were going for. They're going to be hiding around the corner, nice and close. Now, under Bromas is also going to be scouting out where exactly they're going. You see, again, holding close, I should say, onto the high ground.
Now, the issue with this is that they don't have a Sombra that's going to be invisible to scout. Bromas is going to give away where they're hiding as soon as he comes back to them. So he's not even actually scouting for positional information. He's just going to back off towards the point, make them think that they're all
That's smart by Bromas. You see that? He's pre-firing the choke point, but Tavic's got the information now, which means he can just switch straight back to the Brigitte. Tavic knows exactly where Spain are holding, so Spain, they've disengaged. They're already back onto the point. The jig is up, they got to go back, and now Sweden, they have free reign to push through this choke point. They're not going to get caught off guard. Very smart play by Tavic to be able to spot that.
And Sweden moving over to triple tank, triple support, just playing them at their own game. And Spain now, instead of playing the high ground, are just going to mirror the composition. Comes down to who can play around their Brigitte better, who can get the charges.
Vic's playing very interactive gameplay right now, just holding down that mouse one as hard as he humanly can. And it seems to be working out in their favor. They already get the teammate onto Bromas. So much cap time already. Nobody's on the cap. It's so close to getting that only tick for Sweden to take the map. Spain need to contest this. They need to start winning this one out. They need some bodies on the point. Reinforced falling very low. Now we see the rally starting to come out, but it's going to be a quick graviton, and they're all off the point. There you go. Textbook stuff. Johnny's pumped. The rest of Sweden are just being Swedish.
Absolutely. The emotional heart of the team.
He's been in America too long, I'll tell you that one.
I think he has. The rest of his team. Like,
the rest of his team. They're just, Johnny, please.
You're embarrassing me. Dad, you're embarrassing. Sharp with a really well-placed graviton at the end there. Sucks everybody off the point, but you can see that either way it went, that was going the way of Sweden.
Yeah.
They had already bullied all of that positioning. A nice aggressive charge at the beginning, actually, from Reinforced to be able to push the rest of Spain kind of back, away. And at that point, they had all the gap time. They nearly got a full tick before Spain even realized what was going on. So Spain keeping it close, and certainly we saw a lot of rounds there on Volskaya, but in the end, Sweden were playing the better game.
Yeah, well, it's got into the situation now where I think it's very unlikely for Spain to really move much further into the tournament. But we do know they're having a lot of fun, actually. We've seen them at the pool quite a lot, haven't we?
That's true.
You know, they've been jumping on each other's shoulders,
Swimming
screaming
like
at each other in Spanish, swimming like fish as well, splashing me when I'm by the side of the pool, just trying to soak some of the overcast rays on my pale complexion. It doesn't work.
I don't believe you've ever been outside, Ben.
I try, but it's hard, you know. The outside's scary, Josh. It's a scary world out there, mate. It's scary. But, yeah, we've got one more map to come. I'm looking forward to it. Should be an interesting one, you know. But Sweden, they're going to be breathing a sigh of relief, I think, after that one.
They are going to be breathing a sigh of relief. But this map is actually really important for Sweden because if they want to start the comeback now and actually qualify for BlizzCon, it's not enough just to win this series. It's not enough just to win this series 3-1. They need the map differential to be massive because so far in the entire tournament, they have only won 4 maps. So Rialto, the map that we're going to next, is going to be absolutely pivotal for getting that map differential as high as possible for Sweden so that they can overtake one of those competitors and end in second. Yeah,
very important. Like you rightfully mentioned there, Josh. Thank you for mentioning that one. So there is still a lot to play for here for Sweden. Definitely need to be taking this one. Rialto has been a bit of a finicky map, I feel like, in terms of the way teams run it. Because of the way the first point can be, where it's quite difficult to attack into it. It's quite favoured towards the defender's side when they're trying to push through that second choke point. It can be an odd one for some of these teams, but we see some interesting strategies being ran from a lot of them as well. A lot of very aggressive forward holds, a lot of interesting competitions, some double sniper as well is tossed into the mix, but Sweden, I'm interested. I don't think they're going to be going for reinforced Genji, as much as that would be entertaining.
Vase.
That is lovely. Is that a? That's that is definitely a lamp.
Is it a dress?
Can we go back, please, Observer? Can we have a look at that one again?
No, they're not going to listen to you, are they?
Ah, unfortunate. Okay.
If it was down to you, you'd be wandering around the map just looking at various
objects. Just looking at the objects. I mean, the Blizzard guys, they put a lot of effort into the ways these maps are designed.
They should be appreciated.
I do appreciate it. Like, look at this design in this room here. Completely different from all the other designs. You know, I'd have that in my room if it was big enough.
You'd have that room in your room?
I know, I'd have like the furniture in it. You know?
I see.
It's like, it looks quite modern. It looks like, you know, quite sleek.
I don't know whether it's supposed to look modern. I think it's supposed to look like Renaissance Italy.
This is the future, though. It's like, it's a blend of like the modern, futuristic, and
the old and the new.
The old and the new, you know, the old and the new. But enough about the old and the new. Speaking of old, reinforce. Coming out the gate. Swing and a miss that one. We're going to see what they can do as they come out the gate. And they are going to be running Tvik on the Sombra. So getting that information, Tvik is actually on a very wide flank right now, searching for opportunities for them to try and get a pick or two. He might be going for it on Harry Hook. He's just waiting. I do know exactly where they are. So Sharp is also on the Widowmaker. He's going to be up against Poppy Fresh in those Widow duels. He's going to be seeing if they can compete against each other. Playing very cautious right now. The high ground being contested.
Now, Widowmaker Sombra is a fairly popular combination in this current meta, and the reason for that is that Tvik is going to be able to provide a lot of intelligence to Sharp about where Poppy Fresh is. If he's going on any crazy flanks, Sharp should really never get shot in the back of the head like you would occasionally see with the Overwatch Widowmaker duels where it was a Widowmaker and a Tracer. So Sharp should have a massive advantage here as long as a flying line pro doesn't just land in his face.
This aggression is exactly what you kind of need from Rialto as well, though. You get so many opportunities to defend this first checkpoint. I'm pleased to see what Spain are going for here, but the question is, are Sweden going to be changing anything up? Tvik seems to be going back to spawn. Is he going to be making any adjustments? I mean, he was close to an EMP, but he feels like
70% of an EMP there to make the full adjustment over to triple tank, triple support.
Yeah.
I feel like that composition certainly could have worked for them. Well,
caramba, that's not too good. It's probably what Dak's going to be saying as well after pulling off a double environmental kill like that. That is some nut stuff.
I think now we can officially say Reinforce is washed up.
I like how you tap me on the arm to say, listen, I got a good one here. I got a good one. Let me have the mic for a second. Let me have the mic. We're going to see Sweden go for another attempt as they're moving back in. Charge from Johnny. Johnny boy, see what he can get done here. The high ground is being contested by Spain here. It's difficult to get any value out of this Earth Shadow when they're just holding so far forward or so far up onto the high ground. Until they jump down, you're really not going to be able to get anything done. But is this a boostio? I believe it is. It's probably like the 5th one we've seen of the tournament. Disaster strikes. Oh my goodness, that is not ideal.
Certainly isn't. Chipsian hasn't had his best performance, I think, over the course of this tournament. Something to do with the team as well, not being able to be protected, but that's
staying on the Ana.
That's one of those
little
mistakes that ends up happening.
Yeah. And now Spain, I mean, you look at their ultimates, what they got. Look at that. 3 available, I should say. Not 4, I can count, contrary to popular belief.
And now Tvik has to bring up his EMP again.
Yeah.
Bring it up like it's a child. Build it up.
Build up that EMP, which he switched off shortly, just in the previous team fight. But you can see Poppy Fresh getting really just jumped on there by Sharp. Ends up getting a pick, so Spain going to be trying to lead it in with their own Transcendence. But I mean, they're not really getting the picks that they deserve for the amount that they're investing into this one still. Now it's time to go their way. Sharp, though, desperately trying to clutch it up on that Tracer. Not doable, though. For now, it looks like Spain are in a very comfortable position, Sideshow.
They definitely are. And to go back to what we were saying at the beginning of this series, when Spain is playing aggressively, Sweden are struggling to deal with it. And that seems to be the case again here. Sweden have not had pressure taken off them, not had free space, and they haven't been able to make decisions quickly enough to deal with Spain's aggression.
Do or die time now. 25 seconds on the clock for Sweden to get anything done. But again, Line Pro is going to be leading in the charge. Reinforce goes down again. Is Sharp going to be going for another switch? There's 15 seconds remaining here. Are they really going to be switching up any players? Not quite. They're just regrouping, resetting. Johnny has to go. Right, now he's on the Winston, I should say. He's been on it for quite some time, but we're going to see what they can do. Last-ditch push. 4 seconds in. Going to touch the cart, so the overtime is triggered here. Let's see what else they can do. Spain playing it cautious. Again, just poking, just seeing what they can get done. But again, Johnny falling very low. Sharp from on high with the pulse bomb. Is going to get the team up, gets brought down a result. Now the self-destruct straight into the choke. Nobody's going to be falling here. Line Pro using his shield to block it up, but it seems like it is going Sweden's way. They should be able to capture this one outside, Joe, but again, it's a bit tricky. This point can be a hard one.
It can be, but they've taken down enough players right now that I don't think Spain is going to be able to recontest.
You say that, they're looking for it, mate. The EMP comes in. Sweden realize they have to be going full-on aggression if they want to be trying to take this point. The hack up onto Bromas, going to be meaning they get that teammate nice and easy. And there we have it. They do cap it in the nick of time. I think Sweden was sweating once again there.
Yeah, a little bit. And if Tvik hadn't been aggressive with his EMP, it was Harry Hook and Line Pro waiting around the corner with a Transcendence available and a very healthy Brigitte that is difficult to get off that car. Instead, Sweden able to deal with them with Tvik's first EMP of the map so far, due to all of that swapping.
Look at this aggression now by Spain, though. This is something that they've been doing well this map, at least. Playing around the high ground, going to start to try and contest them a little bit early here, but they've jumped immediately on Bromas. This is the initiation that Sweden really needs to be going for. But is there any contestants in the back line? Not quite. This is an issue that Sweden... Oh, into the drink! Maniton, next level play. Sunshine thrusts him down. And now we're going to see Johnny using the tail end of that primal rage to get a bit of damage done, but he gets pulse bombed up by Poppy Fresh, so Spain still able to defend this one despite the kills they were getting early on.
That's true, and Spain hanging on to both of their defensive squad ultimates. Spain have really stepped it up here.
They have, yeah.
I think Sweden are struggling. They don't quite know how to deal with it. Perhaps they haven't practiced Rialto very much. This, of course, is Spain's map pick. But overall, I don't think Sweden can let this get to their heads. It would be nice for them to be able to win this map, but overall, the series is completed. You've got to stay positive for the next
Oh my goodness, and they're just going to collapse onto them there.
Oh, Johnny's taking the canal run.
Johnny can't even get back up, mate. He's trapped on the boat. Johnny, get up, mate, get up. Your team needs you. Still, they're getting a kill or two. Networks ends up falling, 100 energy on Sharp. Needs to be keeping this guy alive right now as he's leading it in for his team. Going to be getting a couple of those right clicks up. 50% to the Graviton Surge. Sweden, that actually went a lot better than I thought it was going to for them.
Yes, but Harry Hook and Dak both did not use their large ultimates to be able to contest that point. So they have them available now as they approach checkpoint B. With only 30 seconds remaining, Spain have built it up for one last enormous fight. Chipsian engages quickly with his Moira ultimate. They're trying to take advantage, take the initiative. But both of these ultimates from Dak and Harry Hook still just sat in the back.
Yeah, they're just holding on to them desperately right now. Sharp is close to this Graviton, 100 energy to his name almost. He's putting in a lot of work for the rest of his team, but Johnny again left out to dry. This seems to be a reoccurring issue. for him on this squad, but they're finally going to be building up this Graviton Surge. Now let's see what Sharp can get done with it. Use it just onto the one player, Harry Hook. Transcendent's going to be really not going to be getting much done, but he is going to stay alive in the midst of it. Now Sweden using that sound barrier, moving their way forward, but Spain out to back. It's going to be the 6-man sound barrier for them. Self-destruct sent straight up into the stratosphere, no value being gotten for them, but still no casualties on the side of Spain as well. Now we're starting to see the mines being laid down. Sweden are struggling to realistically stop them. Spain are really carrying this one forward at full momentum now, Sideshow.
Yep, great planning from Spain. They use both of these ultimates. Harry Hook forced to use his Transcendence early, but they can't get the kill on him even afterwards, thanks to all of this armor and this triple support duo that we've seen so much from Spain is carrying them to a victory on the defense. Having said that, can they push?
Can they push? Yeah.
It's a very defensively favored map, and I don't think Sweden will feel too bad about that. We've seen a lot of teams get stalled out somewhere near checkpoint B. But just to talk a big picture for a moment, I think Sweden are looking more promising in this match, in this series overall. But there's still a lot to work on, right? If they want to be able to qualify for BlizzCon, this is the last game of the day today. They've got to go into tomorrow and face up against Denmark and really bring their A game. Because that game and the game against Thailand, honestly, with how they're performing today, neither of those matches are going to be easy in the slightest. And at the moment, it does seem like Sweden are relying on this triple tank, triple support as a bit of a crutch. And even then, it's not going perfectly well all of the time. So, adjustments to be made from the Swedish roster.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, for me personally, I want to see a lot more sort of coordination going on between the backline of Sweden and essentially it feels like a lot of the time they're being jumped on. There's nobody there to answer the call. I don't know if Chips is calling in the first place or what, but it seems like a lot of the time the support line of Sweden is feeling a little bit weak at the moment in terms of the amount of support they're receiving, but also the front line as well. Johnny is being focused down a lot of the time. There doesn't really seem to be a lot of resources poured into him sometimes. So
they need to light the beacons, Brent.
They do. Light the beacons, Gondor calls for aid. You got to fit in a Lord of the Rings reference here and there, you know?
Every now and then.
Every now and then. We'll see if any teams dive greedily and deep, much like the Dwarves, but yet to be seen. Not a lot of dive being played in this match. A lot of tanks, though, instead.
And this is interesting from Team Sweden. Running the Pharah on the defense, which is a fairly popular way of dealing with it. Teams will often, or dealing with the triple tank, triple support, which they're at least expecting triple support to come out from Spain here. A lot of teams will run the Widowmaker on the offense to try and put pressure on Twix Pharah early on in the fight. But that relies on them spotting it out early on and Poppy Fresh even being comfortable with it. But it does look like going back to spawn at the moment, they're just figuring out what composition they want to run.
Yeah, I mean, Poppy Fresh switches to McCree, so they're going to be trying to deal with Vic on the Pharah that way.
Decent compromise. You've got a bit more help on the floor.
Actually, back to the Sombra now. Oh no, so I see. My bad. Sharp has been on the Sombra. Getting a bit confused there. I am an old man, getting on a bit. But we're seeing what they can do here. Flashbang up top does not connect. A lot of pressure being put into them with these rockets. Vic is doing a decent job of sorting them out. Ooh.
Boy, oh boy. Great onto Ludi, so that's forced him back. Another headshot on Speak as well. Outside the fall-off range, so not doing too much damage. And
this is what I mean.
Hung out to dry a little there as well.
Yeah, again, there's been a lot of pressure being put onto Reinforcement. They're going to resurrect him up, which means they've got their main tank back. And they are finding the picks as well. Vic is finally getting the kills, these damage-boosted rockets. If he hits any directs, remember, there's no damage fall-off. They do full damage. So you can really start to do a number on a lot of the players of Spain here if you're not careful.
Those roofs, they're indestructible, so it doesn't matter if he shoots those. Both Harry Hook and Dak building up to their ultimates. Absolutely pivotal on the defense. Here's the EMP though. Is there a follow-up? Both of the teams playing aggressive because they realize now's the time to engage.
Yeah, Tavik's going to be holding onto that barrage for the time being. Seeing if he can wait for the perfect moment, just waiting for a couple of these ultimates to really just sort of wear off. He knows the rally is there, but it seems like Spain are just kind of running over them, straight over the cart. Bromas being pressured a little bit here, but forced to rotate himself around, and it is going Spain's way in the end. Felt like it was going to be going that way. Sweden weren't really applying a lot of pressure. The good news is, however, they will get one more defense, and they've got a lot of ults. No! They're switching up their composition completely, which means they're only going to be keeping the Nano Boost and Manhattan Self-Destruct. They're
this is fine, though.
Entirely.
They have one more opportunity to defend point A here, and they think they can get the full holds. 2 minutes remaining. Tweak is caught from behind. They actually get the trade with both of the Diva Bombs, but reinforces in deep. Nano Boost has been used as well, so doing a huge amount of damage, but he's so weak.
He needs the heals, man. He needs the heals. He can't keep getting away with this one. Spain are really doing a number on Sweden right now, and with the rest of these picks that are going their way, this can't. All right, okay, Ludi. All right, Val.
Okay, well that's an interesting way of trying to stall the cart. That's some high-level Overwatch you watching there. Wins told you to sit on the cart, not behind it.
Just like my diamond games. Thank you, Ludi. All right, okay. Nice to see, nice to see. But yeah, I mean, Spain now, they're pressing them forward. I mean, you were a fan of the composition switch, and now Sweden have just switched straight back to realistically what they were running before.
That's true, but I think Sweden made a good decision because if they win that fight, they're in a great position to full hold with only 2 minutes remaining. It didn't work, but they rolled the dice and they came out on the worst end. Now, they've still got a long way to go before they're in a dangerous territory. They can force out a couple of fights here, maybe get the Transcendence out from Harry Hook, but at the moment, it's a bit of a dance of positioning.
Yep, they're going to start playing aggressive here, but Spain going to be being quite proactive. Primal Rage used by Networks, just going to be pushing a lot of these players from Sweden back out of the choke point, and look at this damage cleaving through them. Sharp is getting a lot of heals to try and keep him up. In fact, they finally turn the fight around. Networks goes down. This is ideal for them. No more main tank for Spain means no more space for them, and Sweden can start to play a little bit more far forward. The self-destruct Sharp's lucky to not take a lot more damage from that one. Ends up surviving the explosion. Polyrush going to be using that pulse bomb as well, but no value being gotten. It looks like Sweden are in a comfortable position to hold.
They certainly are. Nice play from Sweden as well, because the ultimates were not in their favor. And now they have 2 defensive support ultimates. They've caught some players out as well. These are going to be bad staggers for Team Spain. 2.5 minutes on the... Oh, hello.
Still jumping on the cart. I don't know what line pro... I mean, okay, all right.
These are all terrible staggers here for Team Spain. It's going to take so long for them to regroup as 6 when they've died again and again and again. Sharp just getting in a little bit of cheeky free damage as Spain go fully over to the triple tank, triple support once again. Both of these teams relying on it so much, and both of these teams at the bottom of the table.
Oh my goodness! Big boops coming out from Sweden, and they're finding the kills from it anyway.
Huge plays.
Oh my word.
Phenomenal. Ludi's just had an eye on that the entire time.
Yeah, he's like, I'm seeing it. The play of the game's fine at the end. He wants those environmental kills.
I think some of them got saved by the canal boat and just had to be moved to get in again.
Yeah, that was a combined effort there. We're going to get a nice little replay of what just happened there. I want to see this one again. Straight into them. Beautiful. And sound barrier unnecessary, but we'll roll with it. Don't worry. It's okay.
That was a victory, a celebration.
Celebration sound barrier.
It's like, woo!
It's like, guys, I did so well. Don't worry. Oh, well, let's see what Spain can do now. There is a minute on the clock here, and realistically, Sweden actually have 2 defenses from this position, so they are golden right now to win out this map, which is what they're looking for. A reminder at home, they need to win all 4 maps to really stand a chance. Samurai is going to be used by Sweden, trying to sustain themselves through this team fight. Ludi taking a lot of damage. Reinforced now, going to be using a Primal Rage as well, just knocking these players back, seeing if he can get any of them into the drink. Oh my goodness, the charge by Networks. He saves himself and he gets Ludi as well. That is madness. How do you come out with plays like that? Spain look like they are in control of this fight, but Sharp is pushing them away into the corridors with that Deadeye.
Rally has been used by Team Sweden here as well, and they really haven't had many casualties. Reinforced's done a decent job of being able to delay the cart, and they still have to come through so many choke points here on the offense. With only 30 seconds remaining, they have massive ultimates available though.
Network's going to be going for the charge. He ends up missing it, but he does have this Earth Shatter. He needs to get value out of it. The bubble's laid down, the bubble's deleted. Everyone from Sweden disengages. They recognize the win condition right now for Spain, and it's getting dicey for them, but Sharp, he might have just come out clutch. Manhattan does fall, though, straight into the drink. Whip shot away. Networks, though! It might be his turn, though. Saved in the nick of time. Now we see the Graviton Surge being used by Poppy Fresh, but there is no follow-up. Now Sweden using that sound barrier. Right, trying to save this one. Chips also has a Transcendence, so this could still be salvageable for them, Sideshow.
It certainly could, but Sweden still with that Transcendence available. Look at this! Networks with a crazy 90-degree Earth Shatter that catches absolutely no one. The overtime is there, the little golden box of victory right within Spain's sights, but Sharp shuts back down at the very least.
Still doable for them. Broma's going to be desuited here. It looks like it's going all Sweden right now. Manhattan switching over to the Hammond as well, just to get back onto the point in time. And there you have it. Sweden breathe a sigh of relief as they win the series 4-0, and look at how happy Johnny is. The gentle giant, as I like to call him. Right now, I probably wouldn't go near him. I'd probably be a little bit scared. But all in all, I think Sweden can be pleased. It's looking better than it has in the past. Still a couple of stuff they need to fix. But this is the beginning. This is where they needed it to go right for them if they wanted a chance of qualifying.
Absolutely. Reinforcer is a dangerous animal when the blood of the competition flows through his veins. Sweden do look a lot better. They've looked dejected. I know you guys can't see behind the scenes here, but as they've been wandering around, those 2 losses to China and Australia, I think, really dampened what they were expecting coming into this stage. And the win over Spain, although Spain do look like, in my opinion, the lowest team that we have here at Bangkok, I wasn't expecting them to do very well. I thought they'd be at the bottom of the table. But
they have
Sweden,
impressed me to a reasonable degree.
yes,
as well,
actually, Spain have played a lot better than I was expecting from them. Sweden have played worse than I expected from them. So it is still good for Team Sweden that they've been able to come out with a clean 4-0 victory here, but they have a much harder job tomorrow. If they want to get to BlizzCon, it's very difficult for them. They've still got some difficult paths ahead. Yeah,
well, we've been giving Johnny a lot of smack talk from behind the scenes, but I believe he is now on the floor of a nice little interview with Zoe.
He is indeed. I've reinforced from Team Sweden joining me for a quick post-game interview. First and foremost, congratulations to you and your team. I'm so happy to see you happy. I actually can't stop smiling.
You're just laughing. You're just so happy.
Yeah, every now and then I actually smile. I know, usually I'm very scary, but today is not the day. Now, you started the day off with, I have to call it, a crushing defeat against Australia. How did you and your team actually manage to keep that PMA up going into this next series?
Well, we were incredibly frustrated, you have to say, getting 4-0'd by Australia, of course. But I met Mickey in the corridors, and we looked each other in the eye, and I said, now's the time to be happy, okay? Because at the end of the day, anything can happen in this group. Okay, we're playing Denmark tomorrow. Maybe we'll, hopefully, I mean, I'm hoping so, at least we'll beat them. And then maybe we have a chance, of course, of getting out of the group. So it's not over yet, and you just gotta keep being positive. Like, I'm not happy as Mickey, but I'm at least showing energy on stage, and I'm like, you know, trying to motivate my team. And I mean, they're loosening up, you know, when I'm showing some emotion. So, you know, maybe next year I'll win the Dennis Sawolka award, you know, for being positive. But, you know, that's what I'm going for, because it's not looking like to win any World Cup anytime soon. So, you know.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Also, it takes more than one day of happiness to actually win an award. So you have to keep that one up. You have to keep that one up. But yeah, thanks, Mickey. You give up already? Okay, that was a quick one. Anyway, let's talk about the game we just watched. Spain, they managed to actually throw off Denmark yesterday with, I guess I'm just going to call it the Spain comp, for lack of a better word. It's a bit unusual given the current meta. Did that force your team to actually have to switch up your composition or your general game plan?
No, not really. Of course, we watched the footage yesterday after our match versus China. And, you know, went through what are they doing. You know, so we had some ideas going into the game. Obviously, we had a prepared strategy for Volskaya, but that didn't work out because they scouted it. So we had some things up our sleeves in preparing for Spain. But obviously, I think that overall we're really comfortable playing pretty much anything. So we're looking at what they play in the game and we're adapting. We played multiple compositions on Rialto, so we're just trying to adapt in the moment. And obviously, we're preparing for all the teams. So, you know, tomorrow, Thailand, we're preparing for you guys. You guys are next, okay?
Oh, you're bold saying that in front of the Thailand crowd, but they cheered for you, so that is a bit confusing. But that's okay. That's okay. Johnny, thank you so much. I'm super, super happy you guys managed to end the day on a high note, and I can see you are too, and so are our two lovely casters. So one last time today, I'm going to send it over back to Brent and Sideshow.
Thank you for that, Zoe. Yeah, I'm so pleased to see that Johnny's smiling. You know, he's been looking. You know, he's been dragging his knuckles around
he's dead
the arena.
Inside.
He's feeling a bit dead inside. I'm happy for him. You know, this is where it begins. This is where I said, if they're gonna start to qualify for BlizzCon, anything can happen. This is where it starts.
I personally love it that he's looking up to Mickey as a bastion of positivity, even when everything around you is burning and absolutely going to pieces, because I think both of the teams are going to have similar levels of success.
Okay, all right, let's take this away from you because you're being way too out of line, mister. Let's go to the highlights. We got a couple of highlights to roll through. I want to recap this match just in case you're just tuning in. Instead of watching the VOD, let's watch this instead. You know, you want to watch us commentate over these replays. It was an interesting game. I think Spain, I really would like to talk about Spain a little bit more because These guys coming in, I had minimal expectations for them. We had a little team chat as well just before the event began. And what struck me about Spain was how positive the entire team was. It seems like it is just one big group of friends playing together. And it shows in and out of the game as well from when we've seen these guys just walking around. Very happy gents. And all in all, I've been honestly surprised by the level of play that they've been producing across the board in the World Cup at this stage.
They've been fairly decent. They have definitely relied a lot on Blind First Regita and Poppy Fresh's Tracer, and they're a very readable team, I would say. But they've also been relatively coordinated with how they play the triple tank, triple support compositions, and they had some decent dives that came out as well on Barney, for example.
Yeah.
They do end up getting outclassed by most of the rest of the teams here. You've got to say. Like,
Do you think they beat the Shanghai Dragons?
No. No, I do not.
Oh, okay. Shanghai, if you're listening, that's where you get your win. There you go. Start playing against Team Spain.
Next season, don't worry.
Next season.
Don't worry. China's doing pretty well here anyway, Brent, so
That's true.
There's nothing to worry about in that situation. And I think for Sweden, they've got to look forwards towards tomorrow. And again, it was a weird match though for me because so much of this triple tank, triple support was played without either of the teams trying to really counter it. That was lovely though. Absolutely destroyed Sharp there. But a lot of the teams were just trying to mirror the same compositions.
Yeah.
Denmark aren't going to do that. Thailand aren't going to do that as well when we're looking at the upcoming games for Sweden tomorrow. So I think that it's going to feel very different when Sweden try and take on their upcoming games to get that second place. And of course, they also rely on those teams at the top not getting extra wins. They have to hope that both Australia and China lose out.
It's a tricky scenario for them. It really is. But let's have a look at today's results from the day. Some interesting ones. I think Denmark really showing up strong against Australia and China taking it to the distance against them. So it's Denmark are looking, honestly, like, again, this is the team that I was talking about as a bit of a dark horse. They're looking strong, man. They're looking like a real contender.
They definitely are. And in some senses, I was a little surprised that China was able to come out with that victory against them from behind later on in the day. And Australia managed to recover a little as well, because after they lost to Denmark and they'd looked a little shaky against Spain yesterday, I was worried. I thought that their matchup against Sweden was going to be incredibly close. Now, spoiler for anybody who can't read the 4-0 there, it was not close. Australia absolutely stomped them. So looking forwards to tomorrow, that's another team that has started to recover a little like Sweden, potentially looking better.
Yeah, well, if we have a look at the standings as well, see where these teams are stacking up, China and Australia. Right on top, China currently 3-0, so they're sitting high and mighty. Australia also just lagging ever so slightly behind them, along with Denmark. When it comes to that map differential, that's really where it's starting to come into play as well. So, interesting matches. I feel like it's still open-ended. It's going to require a bit of miracle for Sweden or any of the other teams as well to realistically qualify.
Well,
mainly looking at Sweden.
The other teams are not able to qualify.
Are you sure, Josh? Are you sure? Can we not go back in time?
I can do maths, Brent. No.
I cannot.
Have you got?
I actually
have you got a DeLorean? Are we
DeLorean.
able to go back in time?
Unfortunately not. I don't drive. You know this.
There we go then. Yeah,
so
you are a useless human being.
There we go.
So,
But
it's been a good day of Overwatch overall, I think. It's going to be a better day as well tomorrow. We'll see who the second place team is. Like you said, it's totally open between China, Denmark, and Australia.
That's it. We got one more day of Overwatch still waiting for us tomorrow. Do not miss the action. We'll be back around sometime. I'm actually not too sure which time. I know it's going to be the morning. I know I've got to wake up at 10 a.m. We'll see you around then, but we'll see you then as well, because you do not want to miss it in the slightest.